So I don't think we need to stop for this show.
No, let's just keep going. Yeah.
There are a lot of good scenes that is something that we can talk about.
This though, okay, this starting is an important trope because you realize, like, I don't know, 70% of horror films begin with people
slasher flick.
Yeah,
you get this kind of by the lake.
Haunted house flicks as well, driving to somewhere new, which is important because it gives the audience a sense of the unknown, heading towards an unknown experience, right? So that's important.
Frankly, this house looks just like the scene from Conjuring in front. There's a big tree, and it sets up for it. It sets up for it. But I felt the sunlight in the window. This really gives a jarring sense because when nightfall comes, very different.
Yeah.
Now it's very pleasant countryside feel.
This one's got great atmosphere. I mean, well selected, And the first time you see the old man, the script is wonderful because he acts like a stranger. Right? And she plays that game. She doesn't call him dad. She doesn't react. So the audience is like, oh, what's going on? So he very deliberately luring the audience down the wrong path.
Yep.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at the child. The child is not impressed with the father. The father is like, why is this? So expressive.
So I think, again, this old man that they cast him is, again, the whole show from start to finish is very good. And I think they put the old man here in that kind of look, especially he looks almost like, if you've seen enough movies, he's that weird guy.
Look at him sniffing the thing.
Yeah.
Creepy.
But then at the same time, he is her dad.
Yeah.
Right? So there's that part of your mind where it goes, no, it cannot be. But when that man does all this, then it tells you your mind that, wow, this is really very impactful, very jarring.
That's why you are so sure that this is where the plot is going to go. It's going to be about the dad, And then this is the moment that Eugene liked, this humorous scene where she's just ranting about dance and dad is like, I cannot concentrate.
But what do you think this movement thing, like, it's obviously moving what? Is there a symbolism to it where he sees the dancers moving?
I mean, I think it's part of the whole sort of phantasm of this whole thing, right? That there is a certain sort of a whimsical crazy. I don't think it's about him being crazy or anything.
Because his reaction is very weird. Like, they have a long enough scene for you to capture his reaction.
I think
moving.
He's sensing something. It's very subtle here. My speculation is that whatever is going to be unlocked later by her dancing in the woods, this kind of nature thing, he's starting to see already because the design of that flyer is very telling.
Looks like the fairy.
Very wild. Yeah, it's like a fairy dance, right? So he's looking at this going, oh, this doesn't look promising. So maybe there is a backstory to these fairies and he's lived here long enough to know.
Yeah.
Right? He was very quick to lie. That's important. He lied so fast. That means he recognized it really quick.
And you capture that scene where he was standing behind the bushes watching the woman dancing.
Yeah. So, yes. So you're expected to think he's being creepy.
Yeah.
But is he already watching out?
Yes, is he being creepy or is he watching out for them?
Yes, knowing that she's the kind of thing that the fairies will like. So in fact, that makes me now think, was he looking at her bosom because he's worried, knowing that there is this milk-hungry creature in the woods? So his creepiness is actually 100% watchfulness.
Yes, but after you watch it for the first time, you watch it again, then his behavior makes a lot more sense.
But it's presented to you so misleadingly.
Yeah. And I thought also in the mythology, right, if you read books like American Gods and some of the Norse mythology, there is that belief that you put a saucer of milk outside your window for the fairies to drink so that they don't do harm to your family.
Yes. In fact, that makes me now think there's a reason why there was that little joke where he was sniffing at the breast pump, and then because he needed to be made aware of the fact that she's breastfeeding.
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous thing to do in these woods.
Yes.
He
doesn't say he saw her breast and he knew.
Yeah. Like, I need to watch out. Yeah. And someone caught his subtle change in expression here where he noticed the thing, and after that he smiled. See?
Yeah, he looked at it and
now
said,
he
oh my
smiles.
God.
Yeah. if it was really a bat, would he look worried at all? Come on, right? Yeah. Look at that fake smile. You know, she's very gullible as well. You realize she's clearly a city woman. You know,
Never seen a bat in her life.
Yes, she like no idea what's going on. You know,
Mimi has contributed. She said, it turns out that this is a meta project, and the mother and the child in the film are actually wife and the son of one of the directors. Oh, it's like a mother's lifestyle. One side breastfeeding, one side holding baby, trying to have a life watching something on handphone.
Yeah.
Who would bring a dead bat back and put it on the countertop where you put food? Who?
A contemporary dancer. Looking for inspiration. It's an artistic kind of thing to do, you know. But now that she finds out it's a dead bat, it's a lot less glamorous.
Yeah.
So now control.
Was that gravity, or was that because
I don't think so. Was it an accident? Right? Or was there some sort of magic going on? Right? Did it want the milk so much? You know, what a beautiful shot this is. Oh, so creepy. And then night falls and the whole place suddenly does not look so pleasant anymore. Look
Very
at that.
different from the time she was dancing, right, in the forest. The mood, suddenly the lighting and the mood just switched 100%.
Look at that boy,
Friday.
so clever. Such a good actor. And here she is.
The dancing is very important, primarily because when we talk about dancing, fairies dancing in the woods, right? That's a common visual of fairies. So when I see, I mean, this will be for later, I guess. Let's look at.
But you see, here's the baby. Here's the fairy watching.
Yeah.
Is he watching the baby or is he watching the mother?
Good point.
You at this point you think it's the baby, right? The editing makes you think he's coming towards the baby, but he's coming towards the mother also.
Yeah.
The baby's in the way.
You're right. I didn't think of it that way, but yeah.
Right?
Now that you mention it.
By putting the baby in between the two of them, the director misleads you into thinking the baby is the target.
Also, could he have drank the milk and then felt a connection to this woman and felt that the woman is his mother?
Yeah.
Like he felt that bonding already. Yeah.
I mean, having tasted the milk, definitely the bonding has begun. Right? But it grew big very fast, I must say.
Yeah. I think it's one of those where if you drink the milk straight away, it just
boom.
Yeah. Oh my.
And this happened very suddenly as well, right?
The kid just walks away. So did the kid see something that we don't know about? Was the fairy trying to call the kid? Why did the kid just up and left? So I love it that there's so many layers to this show, and then it gets you to feel it in yourself, and you watch it a second time or third time, then you have okay. So this one is a very important scene.
So here's something, which Eugene noticed, which I didn't notice the last time, right? Look what the fairy is doing when it's at the window watching.
Man. Okay.
Here it comes.
The baby is quite judgmental. This is so baby judgmental.
Yeah.
Okay, see the hand?
Watch. He's dancing. That's amazing. And that helps you to sort of start to empathize with it, because we haven't really seen how ugly it can be, right? So now we're thinking, oh, it's so cute. It wants to be like her. It's drawn to her.
So I felt at this point in time, it's like he just wants a family. He just wants a mother. You know, he's just mimicking his mother's movement, and he just wants to be loved.
So in other words, it has already latched on to her as the mother.
So this latched words has a lot of meaning to it in this show.
Yes, right? So it's not just when the teeth are clamped onto her teeth, right? But now emotionally, he's already latched, right? Maybe through the milk, maybe through the dance, maybe a combination of all these things.
Yeah.
And you notice how the old man fades out of the picture. So they want you to sort of like forget about him for a while before surprising us again.
Very scummy. I didn't think that they were trying to make us forget about old man. I felt they were trying to deliberately make us think that the old man might be the... Yeah.
Right. Yes, maybe by removing him, Yeah, making him suspiciously absent.
Because first of all, the bed or the ferry was very small. But the guy behind the tree the next day, when you don't see the father anymore, he's big. And the father's not in the show. Then it's like you already creating him to be creepy. And then you remove him from that. Then immediately we think it's something wrong with the old man.
Did anyone think that it really was the old man who transforms at night?
No lah. I didn't go that far. I knew it couldn't be lah. It'd be damn sad if it was lah.
That would be, far less sophisticated. So some people are asking why the old man didn't ask her to throw it away. I think he didn't expect her to be so dumb as to keep it. You know? It's a line that you don't have to say.
This one is creepy. This is...
Okay, yes. Classic. This is a classic horror moment.
Oh.
And this is the moment where the film really changes tone. Right? Suddenly the screaming begins. You see the editing changes, the sound changes, the whole film like, okay, now we're in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Right? And this scene with the boat is wonderful, right? Because usually your car won't start, now your boat won't start. And the baby disappears in such an excellent way.
Check once first. Again.
Check once, turn back.
Then, gone!
Walao eh. So sneaky.
Wow, she see the panicking is she took one small weapon and then come back again.
Take bigger weapon. And it's a very well set up thing because you sort of see it as an action joke, right? It's like how an action hero takes a small gun and then come back, take a big gun and you laugh. But it helps because you kind of forget about the first weapon. So that later on, I had forgotten that she took the small weapon. I thought she might have thrown it away or something. I forgot. Later, when she took it out, I'm like, oh, she has a plan.
But it's a very intelligent way of showing that. You know?
Yes.
And I like the acting. I mean, for her, in the way she reacted as a mother, her son is kidnapped, the fear, the panic.
Yes.
I could feel
this is
it
a good
real.
sequence. This is she's doing this really well. This is her moment. Okay.
Oh, see, shaky, crying in the woods, and the green flare that you talked about.
Yes, I was admiring the fact that whenever we are seeing her from the torchlight side, right, we see the little flare, wonderful choice, you see, right, compared to other shots where the flare is missing, right. So the director being very, very picky about detail here, which is wonderful.
And so I think people were asking just now, so how did he get into the bush and everything? So my sense is, fairies, you kind of control nature perhaps, and then you can kind of create group, force the
well, I mean, you think about like the Wretched, the movie that we talked about, right, in previous weeks, where it is a sort of nature entity, a nature spirit, right?
Yeah.
So, it uses holes in trees and underground roots, and clearly a cage of roots is not very far out of the question. Oh, look at it.
Oh.
Yeah.
No fucking bet.
You see, he's dressed and he's ready.
Ready to hunt. Yeah, he is ready. He's really been watching over them and he probably knows about this really.
Such a wonderful hero.
But he was distracted by his family lah. Then he
I don't think he expected it to be so vicious because I was totally shocked. Look at that. I'm like, what? You're not allowed to kill people. It's a fairy movie.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Very strong.
So violent.
I mean, even the fairy as a monster, the makeup.
Wonderful.
Ooh.
It's really quite horrific.
Yeah.
Really quite horrific.
Okay, this part is where I'm a bit confused. Like, how does she know that he's holding the bottle of milk, but what made her that turn to embrace him,
Huh? I mean, that's the biggest clue you need, right?
Yeah, the bottle of milk.
Yeah. You realize that it's not coming after her to grab the baby. You realize? And the fact that the baby is unharmed is already a big clue.
Yes.
So I think she knows that it was bait. She thinks that it wants her.
Oh, look at the fear of, that whole
Wonderful expression. Wonderful. This is a brilliant moment for the actor.
And for the again with the antagonist, you begin to boop, and you feel this. Oh, he's ugly, yes, but all he wants is food.
And look at that combination of disgust and relief and fear, and then without giving it away, she has a secret weapon. That's so wonderful. This is the moment where I went, wow. And she's contemplating. You see, there's that brief moment, right? Yeah. She doesn't just stab him straight away.
Yeah. Very powerful.
Does she doubt herself? Does she regret what she has to do?
And he's looking at the baby. Or that part, either at the audience or the baby.
God. And this, everyone, is my favorite moment. You realize she screamed only after it was over. Right? That she, as a mother, had to do what needed to be done before she could let her emotions take over. And then the horror came out and she screamed. And I think that's wonderful. And Eugene asked whether it was an actor choice or a director choice. And it could be either, but it's a wonderful, successful collaboration there. Because when an actor comes up with a good choice, a bad director can destroy that and say, don't do it. But both need to be on the same wavelength for a moment like this to survive in the film. So wonderful job to both of them,
Season 2, episode 11, as we are getting end of season, usually we throw like stuff that you never expect that you guys. So there's still one more season to go. Sorry, one more episode to go. Episode 12. So I'm glad this selection of 10, 11, 12 were not very easy actually. They're all very, very good in its own rights.
Desmond said something very interesting. He says, nature will never hurt unless you hurt nature. Right? And that's interesting because I don't think it ever wanted to hurt the child. And it certainly doesn't want to hurt the mother. But nature needs something, and the old man got in the way. Right? And not only that, the old man tried to kill him.
The old man used a modern weapon in nature.
Someone fired first, right? I think if the old man had not tried to kill him, he might have just knocked the old man aside or something. He wouldn't have taken revenge. So that's a very good point. That even though that moment of violence was shocking, it was, from nature's point of view, justified.
Defending itself.
Yes, absolutely defending itself. Right? Yeah. So well spotted, Desmond. That's a very, very good theme, Wow. I see some people...
Sorry, go on.
No, I see some people saying that there's a best scare moment there, right? I assume you mean the bedroom moment, and not the teeth on the nipple moment. Okay.
The one question I have for everyone watching and also for you, Desmond Jonathan, is did the fairy trap the baby there as bait? Or
that's what we asked just now, right?
Yeah.
Whether that was the plan.
So what do you think? Do you give an answer yet? I don't recall.
I don't know. I mean, I wanted to find out what everyone else is saying.
Oh, okay,
okay. Right? Well, that's what we said, right? Let's ask them what they thought. So do you guys think, that the baby was all along the bait to lure the mother into the forest, or was he jealous of the baby and wanted to get rid of it? Right? And then the mother came after it and he realized, hey, here's mom. And then he changed plan lah. He adapted. Right? How far ahead was this fairy thinking? In other words, right?
I don't think the fairy wants to kill the baby. I just don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. If he wanted to, he can kill it very easily in so many different ways.
That's true. I like the idea that it's playing on, again, the very familiar trope that we saw in Watched and in Wretched, and some of the other films, Baba Yaga, right? The baby stealing creature. It makes you think, creature stealing baby must be baby stealing creature. And then it turns out, no, it's not. It's smarter than that. Right? It's a baby exploiting creature.
Like Nora Shikin, Mei Leong, and Shimin Tan all said they agree it's a bait, and it's just to bait the mother out for milk because her fridge ran dry. Remember? He took all
Yes,
the milk
yes.
from her and he needed milk. He's holding an
needed-
empty bottle in a hand.
He needed fresh milk. That's right.
Yes.
That's a very powerful clue. You are right. The fact that it's holding the bottle is the way that babies come, like children come up to you with an empty cookie jar and like, no more. Right?
Yeah.
So that's such a childlike, innocent moment. And maybe that's why she knew what it wanted.
Because as a mother, she got maternal instincts.
Because she's literally seen her own baby do something like that.
Well,
Come
there you go.
up to you with an empty whatever and go, no more. And she just went, oh shit. It's looking at me with that same expression. Well, yeah, expression, you know?
Yeah.
You know? So it's really, really quite subtle and quite well layered. So really kudos.
And one more part that I kind of noticed as well is because I did ask myself, why did you just run away? And then I also realized that the show has made it very obvious that the creature is very, very fast. Right? Yes. There's nowhere you can run.
The way it snatched the baby, I mean, no sound, nothing.
Yeah, you're defenseless. You have nowhere to run. The only thing that you have is boobs full of milk, and you have got to. You don't choice. It's ugly. It's a creature. But what's the alternative?
Well, right? Thomas says the sequel will be the lady going back to the island with a herd of cows.
They don't want. I don't think they want cow milk lah. They want mother's milk.
I mean, if it wants milk from other creatures, there are many creatures in the forest. Yeah. Right. So I think it's quite fussy. Yeah. It's quite fussy. And it wants it fresh. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ray Lim says the mother is quite defenseless. But I also admire the fact that she's extremely resourceful. She reminds me of one of Eugene's favorite protagonists, which is the supermarket manager. Right? In Killer Card. Right? You know, we're up against a terrible and hopeless situation. Yeah. She's strong and she's resourceful and she doesn't waste time screaming. You know, she just act first, scream later.
Season 2, episode 1, by the way. Just going to watch it again.
By the way. Oh no. So we have two very powerful protagonists fighting for protagonist award. Huh? Yeah, so Desmond, who has proudly announced himself a tree hugger, is talking about how
Fae kind, not fairies. Yes, Fae, yes, you're right. Fae.
Let's talk a bit about the law, right? So we are talking about, I mean, here very, very Western, pre-Christian kind of law, okay? Yeah. Nordic, Gaelic, Scandinavian law, basically. You know, talking about the fairy kind or the Fae kind. You know, and the Fae are the darker, less glamorous versions of fairies. Earlier, I was talking to Eugene and I compared this creature to Puck a little bit, right? But not the Midsummer Night's Dream Puck, who is so witty and clever and like a court jester. No. Something much darker and much more terrifying. Closer to what the Germans would have called a gremlin, right? An imp, right? You know, which we do have a comparison to in our area of the world, you know, with like the Toyol, you know, and
jungle,
baby spirits. Yes, the jungle, right? Also, you know, so whether born from nature or whether sort of man-made lah, okay. But there are these sort of childlike creatures. What makes it terrifying though is that it's not really a child because it's huge. And it's so that helps to make it again harder to empathize with because it acts like a child, but it's just slashed your father. You know, it has the violence that you don't expect.
They give it enough violence and enough ugliness in that creature for it to still be a monster and not have you to have that morality fight 50-50.
You can't really go on. You know, but yet it gives that mother just that split second before she stabs it through the ear. You know, just that split second, which I like. And you realize, again, this is a very interesting choice. Yeah. In that split second, where she hesitated, right? Because the weapon was out, she had the thing pointed and aimed, she was ready to go, but she didn't press, she didn't push. But instead of showing her face, it doesn't show her face. It shows the action, not the expression. So that you cannot be sure why she's hesitating. They just want you to go and think about it. Right? If they had showed her face, it would have confirmed it. So they don't show her face, but they show a delayed action for no particular reason, and then it makes you wonder, why is she hesitating? Do it!
Yeah.
But that's the question that the director wants you to ask. Why is she hesitating? Right? So this is a director who's very good at playing games with us.
Ray Lim says, the fairy made a mistake when he kidnapped the baby and the mother became aggressive. If he would go straight to the mother, he'd probably get what he... Not really, Ray, you think...
Well, I don't know.
And the mother's like,
I don't
okay,
know.
have the right book. I don't know, man.
I don't know either, but that's a very correct analysis, right? Absolutely. That he thought he had a plan, and the plan woke the other monster, which is an angry mother.
Angry mother, yeah.
Right? Which is the greatest monster of them all, right? You know? So yeah, never piss off your mom.
Okay, well, it's 11:03. I think we have done really well today, guys. Thank you so much.
Wonderful discussion.
If you were in front of us in the room, we would say, give yourself a big round of applause.